Hey guys, Rexasaur here and welcome to Update Monday on the 12th of December 2024. It is 3 weeks. Did I say 12th of December? 9th of December. 1, 2, 3. It is 3 weeks left of the year. 3 full weeks left of the year. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all good. We had a storm come through last week. That's the big news. Storm Dara, I think is what it's called. Pretty sure. It hit us on Friday. We had big, wide alerts come through our phone from the government to say there's a storm, and we were like, there's a storm? And we knew there was a storm. It was the first red alert since 2022, I think it was, and the first time since we've got our nationwide alerts coming through on our phone. So for us in the red zone, we've all got this to say that the winds, which were up to 90 miles an hour, I think the highest recorded was 93 miles an hour after the fact, but that's like 150 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast. It hit us around 3 a.m. And at the time, on the Friday, I went out for my Christmas meal with some of my colleagues, and the restaurant that we were in, everyone's phones went off with this alert, which was, it's loud, it's like a big ping, like along with vibrating phones and the alert messages, and everyone was like, what the hell? It was quite funny to have it all happen at the same time. So that happened. We are fine. We thought we might be losing power, but we avoided it. It seems like it hit a lot of the rural areas much harder than it did our city, although the following day, it happened Friday night, so on Sunday, which would be a day and a bit after, we went to do our weekly shop, and we came across a lot of trees that had fallen and been collapsed. My partner went to go and do some very odds shopping, like things we were missing on a Saturday, because the shop was still open at the top of the street, and saw a tree that had fallen on cars, including a Porsche, and I was like, sucks for you. But it was a pretty bad, like the tree literally fell on the Porsche, so you know. So there was damages here, but nothing seems to have like been too damaging, other than people who park their car under a tree, I guess. We'll see what happens with that. I probably won't, but hey ho. There was a really large tree that was next to the sports centre that we were at, and it fell towards the path rather than towards the sports centre, which is probably good for them because it was a big tree, and so people were just like, oh, there's a tree in this path, let's walk around it. And then when we came back, it was like, oh, there's a tree, let's just walk over it. And we were like, when did this swap? But yeah, other than that, we're fine. Our fence, which was already collapsed, is now fully collapsed, which means our landlord will have to repair it. And we also learnt last week that we rent through an estate agent, which the landlord is like using them as like the property management firm, effectively. And I got a call 2 weeks ago from them to say that the landlord has asked for an appraisal of the flat, which means we're probably expecting that he's going to try and sell this flat. But he's going through a different property manager to do the appraisal, which is very funny. But they're supposed to arrive tomorrow. We'll see what happens. This flat is better than previous flats I've been in, but pretty terrible in some aspects. Like, there are so many things wrong with this flat. So I'm expecting the appraisal is going to be lower than anticipated, and maybe that'll help, or it will hinder. Either way, it's very likely that me and my partner will have to move soon-ish. Although, from what I understand, he has 6 months. He has to give us 6 months when he knows what his intentions are. So that will probably help us find a place, and will just get us moving to actually find a place, so that'll be good. But we kind of there's a lot of background legal stuff that we need to do, such as name changing, passport updating from my partner, and then I need to change my name, and then we need we can finally then sort out bank stuff, which has kind of been on the back burner because of the wedding. And then Christmas, and there's always something in the way. Beyond that, so that was all basically the big fun adult stuff. In the less adult world, I've still been playing a bunch of Stardew Valley. I am at the point now where I have my perfection tracker available, so I can finally see what I need still doing. I know I've got a lot to do. I think I'm 43% through, so I have a lot still to do. There's a lot of DLC that is coming out this week, which will prevent me from continuing my Stardewing, because I want to play that. The first one is from Gladius, which is a Warhammer 4X game. Kinda. It's a 4X game in everything, but the playstyle is very different from other 4Xs. It's more like of a turn-based Dawn of War than it is a 4X, like Civ-like, just because of the way it plays. That's what it feels like. In any case, it is got a DLC coming out tomorrow, which is going to update the Space Marine faction, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So that's probably what I'm going to play until Thursday, because it's only going to be the Space Marine faction, so I'll probably just do one playthrough of it, which I do every time there's a new faction unlock or update. Then on Thursday, Warhammer 3 gets this Omens of Destruction, I think it's called, pack. It's going to add 4 new factions, or 4 new Legendary Lords, I should say. So that'll be fun to play through, do all 4 of those. I did the same with Thrones of Decay. I played every faction, except Epidemius, because Nurgle. And it was already a Nurgle faction in there. So, and Epidemius is just not cool. So that will help me continue my achievements goal, and will be a lot of playthrough, which will probably take me through Christmas, and then probably go back through to Stardew Valley unless something else comes out. The big news in the update world is Baldur's Gate 3 is getting a large patch next year, which will add 1 subclass to every class. A lot of really, really fun ones. So I'm probably going to go back to Baldur's Gate 3 when that drops, because I want to. I wanted to go back to it for a while, and I want to play like a modded version, but I don't want to install a bunch of mods which are going to go and break my game when the patch comes out, kind of thing. I don't want to go through the hassle, so just going to wait. We have started, and we're not going to be playing it this week, but we started a playthrough of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, which is made by Owlcat Games, who made the Pathfinder, Kingmaker, and Wrath of the Righteous games. We've played through like 3 or 4 hours. I can't remember how much we played, but I really enjoyed it. It's a very interesting gameplay. It is very much a single player game, which they've sort of just put in multiplayer. Which may be at a detriment to the game as a multiplayer game. Obviously, like, just the way that I've said that makes it obvious, but it feels like, I don't know, I'm playing through, and I'm the one hosting, which means I'm the main character, which means I'm the one making all the decisions and things, and it feels like all the other players are just there for the combat, which is fun, but I don't know, it just seems a little bit, I don't know if this has the longevity of a multiplayer game than we thought it would be, because things like Baldur's Gate 3, for example, which is a multiplayer centric single player game. You can play it single player, but you can also very much interchange and play it multiplayer at any point, because you as the person can do whatever you want, whereas here every action that requires a choice just basically teleports me, the main character, around to make that decision. Like the other players don't have agency, which seems a little bit, don't know, backwards. Maybe not backwards, but just, I don't know, odd. But I've enjoyed it so far. I think the actual gameplay itself and the combat is very interesting, and the abilities that all the characters have are very unique to TTRPG. So, CRPG, I should say. So that's that. In other news, still Warhammer related, Games Workshop is releasing every day. They're doing like their little advent calendar, where I think I said this last week, where they're doing like a new detachment every day, and they dropped the Tyranid one. I think I've already said this. I can't remember when this happened. It must have been last week, like on a Tuesday or something. But the Tyranid detachment is really, really fun looking. It looks amazing. It's completely increases the viability of one of the units which have been a staple of the Tyranid faction since its inception back in the 80s or 90s. I can't remember when they initially came out. But it means that now I kind of want more of those models. I have a few. I have maybe 12. They come in units of 3 to 6, and you kind of run them as a 6. So I think I have 2 full units. I might have 3 full units. But you can get up to 12 full units now for 72 models. I don't want to full run that, but you could. So my 3D printer friend is going to 3D print me some stuff so that I can use it at my club and see if it's viable. But either way, I want to try just because it feels fun. So we'll see that. With more 3D printed models, which should be good. Last week I painted some of the warriors that I do have, so they look good. I'm very happy with the way they turned out. Still painting a unit a week. Not really been accelerating any painting, mostly because I've been doing other things. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just a lot of stuff. I've got so much going on in general. So tomorrow we got Blood in the Clock Tower, which is going to be really fun to play. And then Wednesday I've got Vaesen, which is going to be fun to play. And then Thursday, so far I don't think we've got anything, but I am using my Thursdays to do preparation for both D&D, which I'll talk about what happened last session shortly, and preparing for my shorts, like seasons, I guess, my short episodics for Call of Cthulhu, which I've got the physical rulebook now, so I should be able to look through it and understand how it works and things. I think it's going to be quite light, my episodes, so basically they're just going to be 2 to 3 sessions max, and just people going through like a one-shot adventure sort of thing, but over 2 to 3 weeks rather than one sit down, because I think it'll take longer than that depending on how it goes. That's why it's maximum. It might take 1 session, we don't know. But I want to give time to roleplay, and I want to give time to explore the world a bit, and just generally just have it as fun little one-shots, because I don't want to do a full campaign. I had a moment last week where I was tempted to tell everyone that my Tales on the Trezoic, which is my D&D campaign, would be restarting, but that's so much work. There's a lot that I need to rejig and re-prepare, and I've not touched it in like 2 years now. So I would need to redo how I do, because I've evolved my D&D for so long with my other Sunday regular group, which we had our session yesterday. And I just don't think that I have enough time to really give it the justice it deserves in terms of giving it my all, because I'm putting so much time and effort in Chaotic Energy, which is the name of the Sunday session. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Sunday session was really good. We are doing a dungeon crawl, proper dungeon crawl. We've got 1 week left of sessions, which means that they are currently... We've finished the session with effectively the boss battle for the dungeon, and which means that next session they should finish the boss, but they most definitely will not finish the dungeon, because there's a lot more left. And also the way in which they approach the dungeon was very different to how I thought they would, where they have rushed through. From last week I told you guys that it was sorry, I'm in work mode in terms of how I'm talking. One of their allies was captured and they're looking for him, and there was a time limit that I've put on it, but the time limit was measured in days, and I don't know if it was misinterpreted by me or whether or not it's just the characters playing what they're doing, but they seem to think it was hours. So they've rushed through a lot of it, and they've skipped quite a few. They've not opened any chests, which is insane. But I understand. It's working in their favour in some things, it's not in others. I told my partner that one of the rooms that they've missed means that something has happened now because they've not encountered it, but they've got to the they've managed to get to the boss. They've managed to get back to their ally. They found him, so he is not looking great, but he is definitely in a healthier position than he would be if they had waited longer. But they're going to do the boss battle. It should be fun. I've made a custom character based on a homebrew stat block, so her abilities are strong, but they shouldn't be too strong, if that makes sense. She is definitely going to be a difficult person to take care of, but that's a boss battle for you. So that's happening next week, and it should be good. Lots of cool stuff happening. I don't think there's anything else, to be honest. Saturday we're going to go and play, and by play I mean bake. We're going to make some cookies, going up to see my friend Richard and Michaela, and we are going to make some Christmas cookies, which we did last year, so we're going to do it again this year. It's a family tradition from my partner's side, so yep, that's what we're going to do. And then and Friday Warhammer, which would be fun. I'm going to I don't think I'm going to have my Tyranids ready, so I'm probably just still going to bring my Space Marines just because I want to. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. So yeah, I hope that you guys had a good week. I hope that those of you who were affected by the storm were safe and nothing too badly happened. I know that most of the people watching this that I haven't already heard about should be fine, unless for some reason, Michael, you were hit by a tree, which would suck, but I don't think that part of the country was hit that hard compared to how hard we were hit. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this Update Monday, and I shall see you again next week on the 16th. So, whoop whoop. Fare thee well, and ta-ra.